In a bustling southern city, a prominent judge was preparing to preside over a case that, at first glance, seemed straightforward. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. The case involved Ely, a diligent young mother who appeared in the courtroom accompanied by her 6-year-old daughter, Mariana. Despite the seemingly minor nature of the hearing, a parking violation carrying a $175 fine, the stakes were profoundly significant for Ely. This seemingly modest amount loomed large over her already strained finances, casting a shadow of worry over her and her young child. As Ely made her way toward the courthouse, her grip on Mariana's small hand was firm, a physical manifestation of her anxiety and determination. The courthouse, typically a place of legal proceedings and formalities, now felt like a battleground where every decision could alter the course of their lives. Ely's heart raced as she entered the courtroom, her gaze darting nervously across the sea of unfamiliar faces. The crowd and court staff moved about, absorbed in their routines, while Ely's pleading eyes sought a glimmer of empathy or understanding. Mariana, on the other hand, was blissfully unaware of the gravity of the situation unfolding around her. Her innocent eyes took in the grandiosity of the courtroom with a mixture of curiosity and wonder, oblivious to the significant implications this day held for her family. Ely, weighed down by the enormity of her predicament, sat quietly with her head bowed, a portrait of both desperation and hope. She had rehearsed her plea countless times, each repetition a silent prayer that her circumstances and heartfelt story might sway the judge's decision in their favor. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the judge took his seat, fully aware of the gravity of the decision before him. Despite the seemingly minor nature of the infraction, the circumstances surrounding Ely's case were far from ordinary. As the judge listened to the details of Ely's situation, he was faced with a profound moral dilemma. The entire courtroom awaited his ruling with bated breath, their anticipation hanging in the air like a thick fog. What unfolded next would shock everyone present, as the judge's decision transcended the bounds of conventional justice, offering a glimpse into the compassion and humanity that could influence even the most routine of legal proceedings. Ely, a single mother devotedly raising her daughter, Mariana, alone, faced daily challenges as she worked long hours as a waitress. Her job required her to endure exhausting shifts for minimal pay, a reality that made it difficult to make ends meet and provide for her child. One particularly trying day, she found herself on the brink of financial desperation. In a bid to secure medicine for Mariana, she made a brief stop at a pharmacy, parking her car at the curb to rush in, quickly picking up the medication and returning to her car as soon as possible. Unfortunately, this hasty decision resulted in a parking ticket, further straining her already fragile financial situation and pushing her perilously close to poverty. As Judge Thomas Miller entered the courtroom and took his seat, he immediately noticed Ely and her young daughter. The judge's gaze softened as he observed the little girl, and a warm smile appeared on his face. He had always appreciated the presence of children in the courtroom, their innocence, and curiosity had a unique way of brightening the otherwise serious and somber atmosphere of the court. When the case was called, Ely stepped forward with a mix of apprehension and determination. Her heart raced with anxiety, but she understood the importance of maintaining composure. Mariana, her young daughter, looked around with wide, innocent eyes, not fully comprehending the gravity of the situation unfolding before her. Ely took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. She squared her shoulders, gathered her thoughts, and began to address the judge in a firm, though visibly strained, voice. "Good morning, Your Honor," Ely began, her voice carrying a subtle tremor that betrayed her nervousness. "I'm here today regarding a parking ticket that I received. I believe there was a misunderstanding, and I would like to take a moment to explain the circumstances surrounding the incident." Judge Miller's expression remained attentive and compassionate as he listened to her. His eyes, filled with understanding, encouraged her to continue. "Please go ahead." he said softly, his tone gentle and supportive, creating an atmosphere in which Ely felt a bit more at ease to share her side of the story. On that particular day, Ely began, her voice trembling slightly. I had just wrapped up my shift at the first of my 3 jobs. I work as a waitress, and it has been an especially grueling shift. When I finally clocked out, I was completely drained, but I knew I had to get some medicine for my daughter, Mariana, who had been unwell. I had only a brief window of time before my next job started, so I hurriedly parked at the curb in front of the pharmacy. She took a deep breath, trying to hold back the tears that were threatening to escape. I was aware that parking there was against the rules, but there was no other option. Mariana needed that medicine urgently, and I couldn't afford to waste time searching for a different parking spot. I dashed into the pharmacy as fast as I could, picked up the medication, and rushed back to my car. That's when I saw the ticket on the windshield. Judge Miller listened intently, his gaze softening as he absorbed Ely's words. "I understand," he said gently, nodding. "You've mentioned that you work 3 jobs. Could you provide a bit more detail about your daily routine?" "Yes, sir," Ely responded, her voice steadying as she spoke. "In addition to my work as a waitress, I also spend my afternoons cleaning houses. Then, at night, I work at a convenience store. I juggle these jobs to provide for my daughter. It's incredibly challenging, but I do whatever is necessary to ensure that Mariana has everything she needs." Ely chose her words with care, deliberately avoiding a full disclosure of her struggles. The courtroom remained silent, everyone focused on Ely's story. Judge Miller's attention shifted between Ely and Mariana, who sat quietly clutching a well-worn ragdoll. He understood the gravity of the situation and recognized the sacrifices Ely was making. His respect for her determination was evident, as was his acknowledgement of the delicate equilibrium she was striving to maintain amidst her demanding circumstances. Ely was deeply conflicted. On one hand, she wanted to acknowledge her mistake and face the consequences as the law required. On the other hand, she was burdened by the financial strain, as the $175 fine was more than she could manage. Her primary concern, however, was shielding her child from the harsher aspects of their reality. When Judge Miller addressed her, his voice carried a genuine note of concern. "And how is your daughter now?" Ely managed a small smile of relief as she responded, "She's doing better, thanks to the medicine she's been prescribed. But my worry for the future persists. This fine of $175 is a considerable amount for us, and I'm struggling to figure out how to cover it." Judge Miller took a moment to gather his thoughts. He glanced at Mariana, who was now watching him with a mixture of curiosity and innocence. The judge recognized the gravity of the situation and the profound impact his decision would have on Ely and her daughter's lives. "Mom," Judge Miller began, his voice steady and filled with empathy, "I understand that you are facing a challenging situation. The law stipulates fines for parking violations, and there are rules we must uphold. However, I also recognize that there are mitigating circumstances here." Ely's heart raced as she awaited the judge's decision, her throat tight with apprehension. She was prepared for the worst but hoped for some leniency. The judge then turned his gaze to Mariana, who was still observing with wide, inquisitive eyes. "Mariana," Judge Miller said warmly, "would you like to come over here and help me with something?" His tone was gentle and inviting, reminiscent of a caring grandfather. Mariana hesitated for a moment, a flicker of curiosity and apprehension crossing her face. She glanced up at her mother for reassurance, receiving a gentle nod of approval in return. With newfound resolve, she approached Judge Miller, who greeted her with a warm, encouraging smile. The judge offered her a small stool, allowing her to sit at eye level with him, ensuring that she felt comfortable and respected in the intimidating environment of the courtroom. Once she was settled, Judge Miller's gentle, reassuring voice broke the silence. "How was your day?" he asked, his tone inviting and compassionate. Mariana's lips curled into a slight smile as she responded, her voice soft but sincere. It was good. The judge nodded, his eyes reflecting kindness. Mariana, do you know why your mother is here today? The young girl's gaze dropped momentarily before she shyly replied, yes, because of a parking ticket. That's right, the judge affirmed with a smile. Now, I have a few choices about what to do with this ticket. I could require your mom to pay the full amount, or perhaps just part of it. Or maybe you have a better idea. What do you think we should do? Mariana's brows furrowed as she pondered the gravity of the situation, her young mind grappling with the responsibility placed upon her. She shifted her gaze from her mother to Judge Miller, and then to the courtroom, where the eyes of the audience were fixed on her with rapt attention. After a few moments of serious contemplation, Mariana turned back to Judge Miller, her expression resolute. I think, she began, her voice steady and clear, that my mom should only pay half the amount. Judge Miller's eyes widened slightly with surprise, and a smile began to form on his lips as he responded, half the amount. Yes, Mariana confirmed with a nod. My mom didn't do it on purpose. She was just trying to take care of me. But I understand that laws are there to help everyone, and if someone breaks them, even by mistake, they should still face some consequence. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Judge Miller's admiration for Mariana's insight and fairness was evident in his expression. Her thoughtful and mature response not only addressed the immediate issue, but also demonstrated a deep understanding of both compassion and justice. The courtroom, previously filled with tense silence, now buzzed with a mixture of respect and amazement as everyone witnessed the profound impact of the young girl's heartfelt words. In the courtroom, a hush fell over the room for a brief moment before a ripple of laughter and murmurs of approval began to spread. The source of this unexpected levity was Mariana, whose insight and compassionate perspective had touched everyone present. Judge Miller's face lit up with a broad smile, clearly impressed by the young girl's remarkable wisdom and sense of justice. Despite her tender age, Mariana had conveyed a deep understanding of fairness and responsibility, transforming the previously tense and oppressive atmosphere into one that felt lighter and almost cheerful. Judge Miller's eyes radiated pride and respect as he addressed Mariana. With a solemn nod, he said, "Mariana, you are exceptionally wise for your age. Your thoughtful suggestion reflects a true sense of understanding and justice. I will accept your proposal. Your mother will only need to pay half of the fine." He leaned forward slightly, his tone sincere as he added, "You have played a significant role in today's proceedings, and for that, I offer you my thanks." As Ely listened, tears of relief began to stream down her face. Her heart swelled with pride and emotion as she gazed at Mariana, whose courage and wisdom had made a profound impact. Judge Miller, observing the depth of Ely's feelings, took a moment before continuing. "Mariana," Judge Miller said gently, "I also want to tell you that you are as wise as you are beautiful. I do not doubt that you have a bright future ahead of you." With a twinkle in his eye, Judge Miller then surprised everyone in the courtroom by leaning forward and addressing Mariana directly in a warm, friendly tone. "Mariana, are you hungry? Have you had anything to eat today?" The judge's question caught the courtroom off guard, sparking a wave of curious murmurs among those present. Yet to Mariana, the question seemed entirely natural. She met the judge's gaze with the same sincerity she had displayed earlier and responded, "I am hungry." "Yes," she said, nodding earnestly. "I haven't eaten today." Judge Miller's eyes softened as he observed the simplicity and sincerity reflected in Mariana's expression. He noticed Ely's visible relief upon hearing her daughter's response and turned back to Mariana with a warm smile, his eyes twinkling with kindness. "All right, Mariana," Judge Miller began, his tone gentle and reassuring, What if I told you that I would completely waive the fine if your mother made just one promise?" Mariana's brow furrowed in confusion, her young mind grappling with the unexpected turn of events. The idea of resolving the situation without incurring any extra cost seemed like a tremendous relief. She glanced at her mother, who was visibly emotional, and looked at the judge with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "What promise?" Mariana asked, her curiosity piqued. Judge Miller's smile broadened as he replied, "If your mother promises to take you out for breakfast today, I will waive the fine entirely." Mariana's eyes widened with surprise and joy, her heart lifting at the prospect. Ely, overwhelmed by a torrent of emotions, stared at the judge in disbelief. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she took in the judge's unexpected generosity. She nodded gratefully, her heart swelling with gratitude and relief. "Thank you, Judge Miller," Ely said, her voice choked with emotion. "Thank you so much." Judge Miller waved off her thanks with a modest gesture, his demeanor warm and approachable. "You're welcome," he said kindly. "I hope you and Mariana enjoy a wonderful breakfast together. Sometimes, small acts of kindness can make a significant difference." As Ely and Mariana left the courtroom, their hands clasped together and their faces beaming with smiles, a palpable sense of relief and admiration filled the room. The courtroom, once tense and heavy with anticipation, had been transformed by Judge Miller's compassionate decision. It was a rare and poignant moment that highlighted the profound impact of empathy and understanding within the judicial system. Judge Miller watched as the mother and daughter walked out, their bond evident and their spirits lifted, a testament to the beautiful intersection of justice and compassion. The court session had come to an end, and Ely and Mariana left behind not just a legal dispute but a profound life lesson. The courtroom, once a place of tension and uncertainty, had transformed into a space where kindness and understanding had bridged the gap between the law's strictness and its humane application. Judge Miller's decision wasn't merely about the letter of the law, but about embodying its spirit, creating two powerful advocates for a more compassionate view of justice. The next morning, Ely and Mariana found themselves in a small, cozy local diner, their breakfast a welcome escape from their recent worries. Ely savored the simple pleasure of the meal, treating herself to pancakes and orange juice, while Mariana chose coffee and toast, her comfort food. "Mom, wasn't the judge nice?" Mariana asked, her eyes sparkling as she drizzled syrup over her pancakes. "Yes, sweetheart, he truly was," Ely responded, her smile tinged with warmth. "He taught us an important lesson today. We should always strive to be fair and kind." Mariana, her curiosity piqued, looked up from her plate. "Do you think he was extra nice because I was there with you?" Perhaps, Ely mused, "but I believe he saw that we were going through a tough time and chose to help us. Sometimes people do good things simply because they understand it's the right thing to do." As they enjoyed their breakfast, Ely reflected on how that small act of kindness had alleviated a significant portion of her burden. Though she was aware that challenges lay ahead, she felt a renewed sense of hope and resolve. She also recognized a newfound desire to teach Mariana the values of compassion and fairness, inspired by Judge Miller's example. Later in the day, Ely and Mariana returned to the courthouse, carrying a small box of sweets. Mariana had carefully selected the treats, and the box was adorned with colorful ribbons, reflecting a heartfelt gesture of gratitude. As Ely walked through the courthouse doors, she felt a flutter of nervous anticipation, but was determined to express her appreciation. The simple act of returning to thank Judge Miller symbolized their recognition of the judge's kindness and the impact it had on their lives. Ely walked with purpose through the bustling courthouse hallway, her heart filled with a blend of gratitude and anticipation. She approached a court officer stationed near the entrance, a tall man whose friendly demeanor and welcoming expression made him easily recognizable. With a warm smile, Ely held the box of sweets out in front of her, both hands carefully cradling it. "Good afternoon," Ely greeted, her voice tinged with sincerity. "I'd like to deliver this box of sweets to Judge Miller." The officer's smile widened as he accepted the box with a delicate touch, his demeanor reflecting his appreciation for the gesture. "Is this for Judge Miller?" he inquired, his tone indicating genuine interest. "Yes, it is," Ely confirmed. "My daughter, Mariana, carefully selected these sweets. We wanted to express our heartfelt thanks to Judge Miller for the compassion and invaluable lesson he imparted to us today." The officer's eyes softened, and he gave a knowing nod, sensing the depth of Ely's gratitude. "That's incredibly thoughtful of you. I'm sure Judge Miller will be deeply touched by your kind gesture." Ely then reached into her bag and produced a small, neatly folded note. She handed it to the officer, her expression earnest. "Here's a thank you note. I wanted to make sure he knows just how much his kindness meant to us." The officer unfolded the note and skimmed its contents. The words were heartfelt and brimming with emotion. He looked up at Ely with a reassuring smile. "I'll ensure Judge Miller receives this note." As Ely turned to leave, she paused and glanced back at the officer with a thoughtful expression. "Please make sure to tell him that his impact on our lives went beyond financial assistance. The way he treated my daughter, the compassion he showed, it's a lesson in humanity that we will carry with us forever." The officer nodded in understanding, his expression reflecting empathy. "I will convey your message, Ma-am. Have a wonderful day." Ely offered a grateful smile before heading out of the courthouse. She felt a sense of relief and fulfillment, knowing she had taken steps to convey her appreciation. Outside, Mariana eagerly awaited her mother's return. As Ely approached, her daughter's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Mom, did he like the sweets?" Mariana asked, her voice filled with anticipation. "I believe so, sweetheart," Ely replied, her smile warm and reassuring. "The officer mentioned he would make sure Judge Miller received everything. I'm confident he will be pleased." "I'm glad he knows how much he helped us," Mariana said, reaching out to hold her mother's hand. Later in the day, as the courthouse began to wind down and the foot traffic diminished, Judge Miller sat alone in his office, absorbed in the task of reviewing several important documents. The quietude of the space was interrupted by a soft knock on his door. "Come in," Judge Miller called out, looking up from his papers with a hint of curiosity. The court officer entered the courtroom carrying a small, intricately decorated box of sweets and a neatly folded note. With a respectful nod, he approached the judge's bench and said, "A woman and her daughter were here earlier today. They left this for you." He gently handed the box and the note to Judge Miller, his expression reflecting the significance of the gesture. Judge Miller's eyes lit up at the sight of the box of sweets, and he took the note with a warm smile. As he carefully opened the envelope and extracted the letter, he began to read aloud, his voice filled with genuine emotion. "Dear Judge Miller, I am at a loss for words to adequately express the depth of my gratitude for the kindness you extended to me and my daughter today. Your generous act not only alleviated our financial strain but also imparted a profound lesson in justice and compassion. Mariana and I will forever cherish this moment. With heartfelt thanks, Ely and Mariana." As Judge Miller read the heartfelt note, his smile broadened, and his eyes glistened with a mixture of happiness and gratitude. He placed the note on his desk with great care, treating it as though it were a precious artifact. "This is what makes everything worthwhile," he said, glancing at the officer with a look of both satisfaction and humility. "The knowledge that I have made a positive difference in someone's life, especially in a child's, is the greatest reward I could ever receive." The officer, moved by the judge's words, nodded and responded, "It truly was a beautiful and touching gesture, sir. I believe everyone in the courtroom felt the impact of what happened today." Judge Miller then picked up one of the sweets from the box, examining it thoughtfully. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that justice is not merely about adhering to the letter of the law, but also about understanding and empathizing with the people and circumstances we encounter. The story of Ely and Mariana quickly spread throughout the courthouse, becoming a poignant example of the profound impact that empathy and understanding can have on individuals' lives. Judge Miller continued to be a revered and admired figure, celebrated not only for his fair application of the law, but also for his compassionate approach to his role. Years later, as Mariana approached her high school graduation, she felt compelled to reach out to Judge Miller once more. She sent him another letter, expressing how his kindness had profoundly influenced her life. In her letter, she shared that she was about to begin her college journey and aspired to become a successful and impactful individual, inspired by the judge's act of compassion. She continued to keep Judge Miller informed of her achievements and milestones, which brought him immense pride and joy as he read her updates, knowing that his actions had contributed to her success. Thus, the simple act of kindness from one day had blossomed into years of fulfillment and joy, not only for Judge Miller but also for Ely and Mariana. The lasting impact of his compassion provided deeper meaning to his life's work, demonstrating that true fulfillment comes from making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Many years later, Judge Thomas Miller, now well advanced in age, faced a profound and unwelcome change in his life when he was diagnosed with cancer. The news of this diagnosis marked a significant and challenging shift for him and his wife, Helena, who had always been a steadfast and loving pillar of support throughout his life. Known for his unwavering integrity and deep compassion, Judge Miller now confronted a personal and exhausting battle with a disease that tested his strength in unimaginable ways. The reality of his diagnosis was a crushing blow, casting a shadow over his previously vibrant and active life. As he embarked on a grueling regimen of chemotherapy, Thomas found himself weakened and confined to the hospital for extended periods. The physical toll of the treatment was severe, leaving him frail and drained. Yet even as his body faltered, his mind often sought solace in the rich tapestry of memories from his storied career. He found comfort in reflecting on the myriad of cases he had judged and the countless lives he had touched over the years. Each recollection provided a flicker of solace amidst the pervasive pain. I remember Ely and Mariana Thomas said one day, his voice barely above a whisper and tinged with fatigue. That case seemed so small at the time, but it had such profound significance. I can still see their faces in my mind, and it brings me a sense of accomplishment, even now. Helena, ever by his side, held his hand with a tenderness that spoke volumes. She understood the depth of these memories for Thomas and made every effort to support him in any way she could. "You did so much good for so many people," Helena replied, her voice filled with warmth and encouragement. "Every case you took on, every decision you made had a real impact. And even now, in your way, you continue to make a difference." Despite his yearning to return to the courtroom, Thomas was acutely aware of his physical limitations. He missed the judicial environment, profoundly the place where he felt most alive and where his work had a tangible impact on the lives of others. "I miss the court," he confessed with a deep, sorrowful sigh. The sensation of being there, making decisions that truly mattered, witnessing justice unfold. "It's where I always felt most engaged, most purposeful." Helena gazed at him with a blend of concern and unwavering hope. "I know, my love," she said softly, "and I believe that, in time, you will return. Every day you are growing stronger, and that's a testament to your courage and resilience. I am here for you, supporting you every step of the way." Throughout this challenging period, their adult children, each traveling from different states and even from abroad, came together to offer their presence and support. Their arrival brought additional comfort and strength to both Thomas and Helena. "Dad, we're here for you," David, the eldest son, said as he entered the hospital room, his voice steady but filled with concern. "We made the long trip because being here with you is what matters most. "It's so good to have you all here," Thomas responded, his face brightening with a faint, grateful smile. "Your presence means more than you can imagine." Laura, the middle daughter, gently took her father's hand in hers, her voice quivering with emotion. "Remember all the times you've been there for us, offering advice and support. Now it's our turn to be here for you," she said, her voice choked with emotion, reflecting the depth of their familial bond. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The youngest son, Ben, who lived overseas, also conveyed his heartfelt love and unwavering support. "Even though miles separate us, the depth of my love and admiration for you, Dad, remains unchanged," Ben affirmed with sincerity. "I'm committed to staying here and supporting you for as long as it takes." Every action and principle that Thomas embodied was mirrored in his children. They had learned from him not only the profound essence of justice, but also the importance of empathy and integrity. Observing them uphold these values and continue his legacy filled Thomas with a deep sense of peace and joy. The realization that his teachings had shaped them into compassionate and just individuals brought him immense satisfaction. Helena worked tirelessly to foster a nurturing and optimistic atmosphere for the family. She often spoke about the future, holding on to the hope that Thomas might someday return to the courtroom, a place he cherished deeply. "Let's envision the day you return to the courtroom," Helena suggested, her voice filled with optimism as she painted a vivid picture of a hopeful future. "We can imagine how it will unfold. Your colleagues will welcome you back with open arms, and you'll once again engage in the work you excel at." "I want to believe that," Thomas replied, his eyes reflecting a glimmer of hope. "Envisioning the day I can return gives me the strength to persevere through this challenging time." Each night when the children were out with their friends, Helena would find solace in reading letters from former colleagues and clients. These letters were brimming with gratitude and admiration for Thomas's contributions. It became clear that his impact had been profound and enduring, leaving an indelible mark on many lives through his work at the courthouse. The heartfelt letters served as poignant reminders of Thomas's significant role and the deep respect he had earned throughout his distinguished career. They provided him with comfort and reassurance, affirming that his efforts had indeed made a meaningful difference, as evidenced by the fond memories and positive feedback from those he had helped. As Thomas continued his struggle, he drew strength from the unwavering love of his family, the support of his friends, and the cherished memories of a career dedicated to justice. He took solace in knowing that his legacy of kindness and fairness would outlive him, impacting future generations. Thomas's son Ben was particularly affected by his father's illness and was determined to explore every possible avenue for a cure, no matter how small. After much deliberation, Helena and Thomas decided to arrange a consultation with a highly recommended specialist. Ben took on the responsibility of handling all the arrangements. The anticipation was palpable, tinged with a mix of hope and anxiety. When the day of the appointment arrived, they found themselves in a modern and inviting office that mirrored the innovative and meticulous approach of the renowned doctor. Little did they anticipate the remarkable turn of events that lay ahead. When the office door gently swung open, Thomas and Helena were greeted by a young woman who walked with a sense of purpose and poise. As she approached them, it became clear that this was Mariana, now an accomplished professional with an air of confidence and competence. Thomas's eyes widened in recognition, his face illuminating with a mixture of surprise and joy. "Mariana, is that you?" Thomas asked, his voice trembling with emotion, his eyes searching for the familiar traces of the young girl he once helped. Mariana's smile was warm and filled with a sparkle of recognition. Her presence exuded both serenity and professionalism. "Yes, Mr. Thomas," she replied, her voice rich with gratitude and affection. "It's me. I've become a doctor, and it's an honor to be here to assist you now." Helena, standing beside Thomas, was visibly touched. Her eyes welled up with tears of emotion as she took in the sight of the now grown woman before her. "This is incredible," Helena said, her voice thick with sentiment. "You're the girl Thomas helped in court. Seeing you now as a doctor is a remarkable testament to how life's twists and turns can lead to such profound outcomes." Mariana moved closer to Thomas, her gaze filled with deep empathy. "I remember vividly the help you gave me and the impact it had on my life and my mother's. Words can't fully express how thankful I am for everything you did for us. Being able to help you now is a deeply meaningful experience for me." Thomas, his voice laden with emotion, responded, "Seeing you here as a doctor is one of the greatest gifts I could imagine. Even if the treatment doesn't yield the results we hope for, just knowing that you are here making a difference brings me immense peace." Mariana's smile broadened, touched by Thomas's heartfelt response. "I promise to do everything in my power to assist you. I hold you and your kindness in the highest regard, and I am committed to providing you with the best care possible." As Mariana outlined the details of the treatment plan and the forthcoming steps, Thomas experienced a profound sense of fulfillment and tranquility. Regardless of the challenges that lay ahead, the knowledge that he had played a part in shaping Mariana's life and was now being cared for by her filled him with a sense of completeness and purpose. The visit to the office became a poignant moment of reconnection and profound gratitude. Thomas and Helena's journey had not been without its struggles, but the unexpected reunion with Mariana brought a renewed sense of light and hope. Witnessing the young woman he had once helped now taking care of him as a doctor was a powerful affirmation of the positive impact he had made in her life, providing him with a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. As the consultation concluded, Helena and Thomas left the office with hearts brimming with gratitude and a renewed sense of hope for the future. Mariana's presence, marked by her unwavering professionalism and deep dedication, provided Thomas Miller with a new perspective on his life and struggles. Her arrival reinforced the belief that even in the most trying times, life can surprise us with unexpected beauty and profound meaning. As Thomas continued his treatment journey, he did so with a renewed sense of hope and purpose, significantly influenced by Mariana's compassionate care. Mariana, now a highly respected physician, had taken on the responsibility of Thomas's treatment with both expertise and heart. She quickly became much more than an exceptional doctor. She evolved into a cherished friend and a steadfast source of strength for Thomas and his family. Her dedication was evident in every aspect of the care she provided. Mariana's approach to her work went beyond medical procedures. She brought a comforting presence, engaging in meaningful conversations and moments of levity that brightened their days. "How are you feeling today?" Mariana would ask gently, her smile radiating warmth as she adjusted Thomas's treatment and checked his vital signs. "Better now that you're here," Thomas would respond, his voice full of gratitude. "Your presence is a great comfort to me." Mariana's role extended far beyond the confines of a doctor's office. During her visits and consultations, the Miller home felt imbued with a sense of familiarity and affection, a testament to the deep connection she had fostered with the family. She shared stories of her own life, providing a glimpse into her experiences and the values that shaped her. Mariana spoke often of her mother, Ely, recounting how her financial support had allowed her to rest peacefully and how Ely had never forgotten the kindness shown to her in court. Mariana's involvement was comprehensive. She accompanied Thomas to his treatment sessions, offered Helena practical advice, and took part in family activities, creating an environment of unwavering support and love. Even in the most challenging moments, when Thomas's illness seemed to cast a heavy shadow over his spirit, Mariana's strength and optimism were a beacon of relief. Her unique blend of professionalism and empathy ensured that Thomas felt truly valued and understood. "I'll always remember your words and how you helped me face these tough times," Thomas once said during one of their heartfelt conversations. "You're a true source of inspiration and courage for me." Mariana's influence was not merely limited to her medical expertise, but was deeply intertwined with her compassionate approach. Her presence in the Miller family's life transformed their experience, illustrating the profound impact that empathy and kindness can have in times of difficulty. Mariana, her eyes glistening with heartfelt emotion, responded with profound sincerity, "It's truly an honor to be here with you. The impact you had on my life when I was a girl was deeply significant, and now, having the chance to give back in some way is extremely meaningful for me." As the days passed, Thomas experienced a profound sense of inner peace. He found solace in the knowledge that he had lived a full and meaningful life. Mariana's presence, with her compassionate spirit and medical expertise, played a crucial role in fostering this feeling of completeness. Helena and the children, equally moved by Mariana's dedication, frequently expressed their heartfelt gratitude. "Mariana, you have brought light and comfort into our lives during this incredibly difficult time," Helena said warmly as she prepared a meal for the family. "We are profoundly grateful for everything you've done and continue to do." With Thomas's treatment progressing under Mariana's attentive care, the family began to seek ways to create special, meaningful moments together. Mariana, ever mindful of Thomas's emotional and physical needs, proposed an idea that could bring joy and fulfillment to everyone: a trip to the cabin in the mountains, a place Thomas had always dreamed of visiting with Helena, but had never been able to due to his demanding work schedule. "I was thinking," Mariana said during a consultation, her gaze steady and reassuring as she addressed Thomas and Helena, "perhaps we should plan a weekend getaway to that cabin in the mountains you mentioned. It would provide a wonderful opportunity for everyone to spend quality time together. And with the proper medical care, I believe we can make it happen safely." Thomas looked at Helena with a glimmer of surprise and excitement in his eyes. "I've always wanted to visit that cabin with you, Helena, but we never seem to find the time," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "Mariana, do you think this is possible?" Mariana's face brightened with a confident and encouraging smile. "With careful planning and all the necessary medical support, yes, it's entirely feasible. I'll be there every step of the way to ensure everything goes smoothly. I think it would be a wonderful break for everyone and a special experience for you both." Thomas's children, upon hearing the suggestion, were equally enthusiastic. They eagerly committed to making the weekend memorable for their father and the entire family. With a flurry of preparations and much anticipation, the trip to the cabin was organized. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The mountain cabin, nestled in an isolated and serene location amidst nature, offered the tranquility and peace Thomas had always dreamed of sharing with Helena. Upon arrival, the breathtaking mountain views and the fresh, crisp air revitalized everyone. Mariana, with her meticulous care, ensured that Thomas was comfortable and well looked after throughout the trip. She monitored his vital signs, administered medications, and remained vigilant for any needs that arose. "How are you feeling today?" Mariana asked, adjusting Thomas's pillow in his wheelchair to frame the stunning mountain backdrop. "I've never felt better," Thomas replied with a genuine smile. "This place is even more beautiful than I had imagined, and being here with all of you is an incredible gift." The days at the cabin were filled with laughter, shared stories, and cherished moments of togetherness that the family would always treasure. They enjoyed gentle hikes around the cabin, savored meals together outdoors, and spent cozy evenings by the fireplace, reminiscing and creating new memories. "Dad, do you remember the time we went fishing and you accidentally fell into the lake?" one of the children asked with a chuckle. "Of course I remember," Thomas responded, laughing along. "And you've never let me forget it, have you?" Helena, observing the joyful scene, felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for this precious time together. She recognized the irreplaceable value of these moments and knew that Mariana's presence had made it all possible. "Mariana, I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done for us," Helena said as they prepared a meal together in the cabin's kitchen. "You've brought renewed hope and happiness into our lives." Mariana, ever humble, responded with a warm smile. "It's been a true privilege to be here with you and witness how much this means to everyone. I'm honored to have been able to help create these special memories." The weekend seemed to drift by in a heartbeat, yet every precious moment was embraced with an intensity that made time feel both fleeting and eternal. Despite the underlying sadness that loomed over Thomas's illness, the days spent together were filled with a joy so profound that it seemed to illuminate even the darkest corners of their hearts. The cabin, nestled against the backdrop of majestic mountains, became a sanctuary where love and laughter thrived amidst the uncertainty. As the final day drew to a close, the setting sun cast a golden glow over the landscape, and Thomas looked around at Helena, Mariana, and his children with a heart swelling with deep, unspoken gratitude. The serene beauty of the evening mirrored the profound peace he felt inside, a rare gift amid his struggles. "This has been the best weekend of my life," Thomas said, his voice trembling with emotion as tears glistened in his eyes. His words, though simple, carried the weight of a lifetime of shared memories and unspoken wishes. "Thank you all for making this happen," he added, his voice cracking with a mixture of joy and melancholy. At that moment, it was as though time itself had stopped, allowing him to fully absorb the love and togetherness that surrounded him. Mariana, her own eyes misty with emotion, held Thomas's hand tightly, feeling the deep connection that bound them all together. "It's been a true pleasure, Thomas," she said, her voice soft and steady, yet full of heartfelt sincerity. "You deserve all the happiness we can give." Her words were more than just a comfort, they were a testament to the enduring bond they shared and the strength they found in each other. The affection and support she provided had become a beacon of light in their lives, guiding them through the darkness and reinforcing the love that was woven into the fabric of their family. As the family packed up to return home, their hearts were heavy with the weight of their unforgettable experience, yet filled with an overwhelming sense of gratitude. They knew that their time at the cabin would forever be etched into their hearts as one of the most precious and cherished chapters of their lives. Each laugh, each shared glance, and each tender moment would be a treasured memory, a beacon of hope and love that would continue to shine brightly in the days to come. Mariana, ever the steadfast source of comfort and care, remained by their side, her presence a soothing balm amidst the uncertainty. Her unwavering support and the warmth she brought into their lives would be a guiding light as they navigated the journey ahead, ensuring that the love and joy of that weekend would be a lasting legacy in their hearts. As we wrap up today's story, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've witnessed. From the touching reunion between Thomas and Mariana to the heartwarming moments shared at the mountain cabin, we've seen how life's challenges can lead to unexpected, beautiful connections and profound impacts. What have you learned from this story? How has it touched your heart? And what insights can you take away to apply in your own life? Please share one thing you've learned and how you plan to bring it into practice below this video. Your thoughts and reflections are invaluable to us. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.